Are you an athlete or professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Baumgartner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com.
What's happening, Peter? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, buddy. It's the over-under here on the sports web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek right now here on a Sunday morning. What's going on, buddy?
Buddy, it's week 4 in the National Football League, Pete. I can't believe it's already week 4. Wow, where is the time going?
I'm telling you, I don't know where the time is going at this point. I got up early this morning, and it's October 1st. How about that, huh?
Hang on. I'll have to go show you some of the fall things that happen in Florida. I got a couple of palm fronds that laid on the ground. It's fall in Florida, baby. How about that? You know what's even better, Peter? It's only a couple of months away that we can torture our friends in the Great White North up north, where we can do our poolside shots with Ray Kennedy jumping in the pool. It's 50 below up in Chicago, and it's 82 in Florida. That's what I'm most looking for because I just love doing that. How about you?
No, absolutely. I hope it's going to get a little bit cooler. It usually gets about 70, 75 here eventually. But right now it is still hot in its hot stages. And one thing that wasn't hot was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. We can go back to that. But, of course, getting you ready for Bucs versus the Saints today in a divisional matchup rivalry. Don't ask Cam Jordan because he doesn't think it's a rivalry at all.
He's a putz. What else are you going to say about it? But you know what? I got to get to this Tampa Bay game against Philadelphia because I gave this pick out last week. It was my game of the week. They lost. All the pundits are out there saying, oh, they got their ass kicked. It was horrible. It was this. It was that. Look, any excuse or any reasons I'm going to give you on what happened in the game, it's going to sound like I'm trying to make up for a bad pick. I'm just going to say one thing. If you line these two teams up again right now, I still stand by that same pick. They will not make those same mistakes twice. There were 3 plays in the beginning part of the game, Pete, that absolutely dictated the way that game was going to go. But you know what? Before we get into that, we're going to talk about all different kind of things today. If you have a question or a comment right here on the Over-Under, live on the Sports Web with the Greek and Pete, go ahead and post a comment. We're going to go ahead and read it live on the air. And if you have a phone call, if you have a phone call. If you want to call into the show, it's live and interactive. You can dial 727-255-0391. That's Pete's number. Or you can call the Greek's number at 727-320-5866. Pete, bring us back together because there's so much to talk about. We have the 88% rule came into effect, as you and I were talking about on the J.P. Peterson show on Thursday. I mean, really, man. I mean, I'm going to jump right to it. LSU at Mississippi. LSU is a 2.5-point favorite. They not only didn't cover, but the home team won. The 88% rule keeps living on, Pete. It's like free money. Right at game time, look for the 2.5-point favorite on the road and just bet the home dog. I don't know what it is, bro. But it just continues to happen. And you know what, Pete? You and I proudly can say we are 22-8 on the season with our picks.
Absolutely we can, because we usually go together on where we're going with picks. You're usually the one that's picking it, and I'm usually the one that's...
Yeah, we kind of bounce it off each other. You know, Kentucky, they covered. That was an easy cover. They only were -1. I says, I don't care if you had to give points away. You could even get better odds. That was like one of the best college games I've seen in 5 years. And I am a Florida alum. Love the Florida Gators. But buddy,
Ray Davis, 280 yards of rushing.
I don't bet with this right here. I bet with this and these 2 eyes that God gave me. Notre Dame 5.5 points. Hell, man. How about Hartman yesterday, Pete?
Yeah.
The game shouldn't have been as close as it was. Some people said, oh, Greek, you got lucky. I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week with that last touchdown. And to get the 2-point conversion to cover. Otherwise, it's only 5, and I'm laying 5.5. They had to get the 2-point conversion to cover, and we win.
There you go.
USF at Navy? Boo. I'm happy for USF, but it was a bad pick.
Boo to you, because you said you thought Navy was going to win this game, and I tell you right now, this was not as close as that score ended.
No, USF should have blew them. I mean, Navy was lucky to get the 14 points in the beginning part of the game anyway.
Yeah,
man, I feel like I'm talking 150 miles an hour. It just is unbelievable. I love it. Anyway, on College Beat, we went 3-1.
Nice.
There you go. 1-1 right now in pros because my second game of the week was who? The Detroit Lions laying to a Green Bay, and I said they would stomp a mud hole in there, you know what, and they did.
Yes. And what's that? What we always say here on this show? Wow, 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 wow.
Green
Bay
Bay sucks.
So there you go. Good stuff. Good picks. Going back to USF, big time win for them. Snaps actually a 19-game losing streak on the road in conference play. So congratulations to USF and Alex Golish. And by the way, a lot of people saying they should have hired Dion. They should have hired Dion. They both have the same amount of wins right now for their respected programs. So there you go.
Absolutely. In Colorado, they got upset, but you know what? They were getting their ass handed to them in the beginning part of that game, Pete. But I'll tell you what, man, they came back. Shedeur Sanders actually kind of looked pretty good in that game. I was kind of laughing in the beginning going, yep, this is a Heisman Trophy candidate. You see, folks, I don't mind to tell you when I'm wrong. Okay? It's not always telling you about the good things. I wasn't as high on Deion Sanders being the head coach at Colorado. And I thought all the hype was totally unnecessary. And I said in the beginning part of the year, wait till they see what Oregon does to them. And they did. Oregon crushed them. Then they played USC, and USC was crushing them. Caleb Williams throwing the ball all over the place, making Shedeur Sanders look like a complete dope. But what happened in the second half? A sign of a good football player and a sign of a good organization. I stand to be corrected. They still need some players to get it really wrecked, to right that ship, Pete. But you know what? Colorado's a pretty damn good football team. They're not going anywhere this year, but they're a hell of a lot better than what they were last year. And it's because of Deion Sanders, and it's because of Shedeur as well. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, transfer portal has definitely helped them out. They definitely need some pieces on defense to get better. USC's defense, nothing to write home about. So it was a close game, 48-41, and you could see on display not only Shedeur Sanders, but also Caleb Williams, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, missed 10 passes all game. It certainly seems like he's the real deal at the end of the day, right?
But what a tight game that was. And yeah, let me tell you something. Caleb Williams, he's arguably he's a special quarterback. Yeah. You said it best yesterday. It's the closest thing to a Pat Mahomes coming out of college you're going to find. But then again, I've seen a couple of USC quarterbacks, and I remember one back in 1999 that went to the Chicago Bears. How'd that work out, McNown?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to correct you here because he was actually from UCLA, not USC.
Oh, that's right. It was UCLA.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's talk about the other USC quarterbacks. Dare to talk about it? I believe one to Arizona, one went to the Jets. That was a Mark Sanchez, wasn't it?
Mark Sanchez, butt fumble himself. And then, of course, you got Matt Leinart to the Arizona Cardinals. So, absolutely. And, yes, it is Go Buccaneers Day as we get you ready for Bucs versus the Saints. What are you most concerned about? What's your score predictions? What is the player of the game? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Or the other number there, Harry?
727-320-5866. Give us a call. Don't be shy. Let's get some picks and let's make some cash today. Pete, we're done with college football. But, since you did bring up Mark Sanchez and USC, this is an unpopular opinion. I really think he could have been a really good quarterback in the National Football League had he been put in the correct offense.
Well,
for instance, do you think Sanchez could play in Shanahan's system right now in San Fran? Honestly.
Yeah, I think he could, definitely.
I think it would be a totally different quarterback. I know you guys think I'm crazy, but I'm not, man. I mean, they've taken some really good quarterbacks and crushed them in New York.
To go back to it, early on in his career, he was definitely put in a better situation. He had Rex Ryan. He had a defense. He took him all the way to the AFC championship game. So he had some success. He did have
that would have been a neat trick in the NFC, but I said USC, UCLA. I mean, what's the difference, right?
Yeah, right. All right.
You should take the state and break it off and let it flow out in the Pacific. I said that for you, JP.
Shut up and be quiet. I'm here to bring the nonsense here, says Two Giant Goofballs. We know that. Get rid of that Santa beard. It will cool you down. It's okay. L. Bushman says, what's up, fellas? What's going on? Stephanie says, go Buccaneers. Go Buccaneers.
How about them Bucks, baby?
And let's go out to Two Giant Goofballs. Sanchez could have been good if they didn't strip his weapons too. They wanted to have him do it all himself, and he wasn't at the level. Exactly. And that is the problem with drafting a quarterback, and you're going to see this happen with a lot of bad teams. They're going to draft a quarterback and think that he's the savior, and they're not going to put enough weapons around him. You're not going to put an offensive line around him. And then what's going to happen? He may turn into Justin Fields at this juncture.
You had to go there.
I
You
know.
had to go there, Pete.
I know. I had to scratch the scab a little bit, but I know how you feel about it. But I mean, are you really surprised by this? I mean, I'm kind of surprised by it. I can't believe he struggled this mightily. I think the Bears as an organization this year went out of their way to put enough weapons around him, and it just isn't working. It just isn't working. It's whether it's coaching, whether it's scheme, whether it's not letting him do what he does best in this offense, whatever this offense is. Nothing is working at this point with them getting their doors blown off by the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's a bad game when the majority of it, you're talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I fell asleep during it.
Bro, I don't even want to talk about it. I love when you go full screen when you're doing this. Look, man, it's going to be going on a year since the Chicago Bears have won a game. A year. And this is the year that everybody was like, oh, this team could win the NFC North. It could do this. It could do that. What are we smoking out there? I mean, really good group of linebackers and secondary for the Bears. That front four just absolutely just blows. I'm sorry. They really do. The offensive line, what did you do? Hang on. Let's get rid of Sam Mustipher and let's make him one of the best centers in the league when we sent him over to Baltimore because he wasn't good enough. It's just unbelievable. I will tell you this much.
Yeah.
Adam Padermo, very, very dear friend of mine in the show. Love him. I know he does watch the show. He calls me up and he goes, hey, Greek, guess what? What's up, Adam? And he goes, you're going to hate this. But, man, I'm telling you, I'm starting Justin Fields in every one of my fantasy leagues. He's going to go out. This is the week he's going to give me 50 points. And I'm like, Adam, I love your enthusiasm, Adam. But I've been saying this now for 2 years. This is the week. No, Adam. It's not the week. Maybe it will be. Who knows? I hope he's right. I really do. But I think it's absolutely hilarious.
It actually sounds like
hey, Peter, do me a favor. Send Andrew from the Two Giant Goofballs podcast. Go ahead and send him the link because I'm having a difficult time over here. Just send it down to him. He may want to join us for just a few minutes.
Yeah, sure. Of course he does. Of course.
I want to let him torture us a little bit. I love it.
Oh, it's always good to be tortured by Andrew.
You swear that you and I are like twins. I mean, sit up straight.
Yeah.
Take a look. We're both wearing black.
Okay.
I mean, we don't try to do this on purpose, ladies and gentlemen, but we do color coordinate pretty well.
Well, there you go. Exactly. And again, we didn't plan this, but this is usually my only shirt besides the red, and I usually wear the black. I got to get some more shirts.
Yeah, tell me about it. I think we both need to get some more shirts. I'd like to get some more black in the hair. Where the hell did all this gray come from? Oh, I'll tell you where it came from. Being friends with you.
Well, there you go. I'll tell you what. Let me go out to the phone lines here. Stand by. Wow.
There is no improvising here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, let's go out to Ed. Ed, welcome to the Over-Under here on the Sports Web. Yours truly, along with Harry the Greek. What do you have to say here?
I'm so excited that we get to play the Saints.
The Taints.
For a solid month now.
Yeah.
I've been hearing Saints fans on social media talk about how terrible we are and we suck and we're not going to win more than a couple of games this season. And I'm so tired of it. I can't wait for them to strap it on and show the Saints that we're still number one in this particular division.
First off, hey, Ed, good morning. It's really nice to talk to you again. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Do you know who's actually playing quarterback for the New Orleans Saints? Is it going to be Carr or is it going to be the crab leg thief?
I hope it's Winston because it'll be a blowout, baby.
Well, I tell you right now, it looks like it's going to be Derek Carr because the report that came out last night from Ian Rappaport says he went through all the first reps with the walkthrough on Saturday. So it looks like he's going to play. I mean, you said it best. There's turnovers there. We could say whatever we want to about Jameis Winston with the turnovers and injuries and everything like that, but he could still make a lot of throws that I think Carr cannot make. So is this an advantage? Let me ask you, Harry, and then I'll go to you, Ed. Is this an advantage for the Bucs defense for Carr to start today?
Great point, Pete. I mean, great question. And I'm going to answer it for you. And I'm going to let Las Vegas answer that question for you. How's that sound, Pete? Huh?
Sounds good, buddy.
You ready?
Yeah.
At one point when Winston was declared the starter for this game went all the way up to New Orleans -4. That, ladies and gentlemen, it means the Saints were favored by 4 points. Since the reports have been coming out that there was a possibility that Carr was playing, it's only -3. How about that?
Wow.
But here's one even better for you, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking about this earlier in the year when Derek Carr wasn't even on a football team and the Jets passed on him and a few other teams passed on him, and he ended up signing that nice, huge deal down in New Orleans. And I said, you know what? He's got a bum shoulder. I've been watching him really close last year. I said he's having a very difficult time trying to throw the ball to his left. The ball, it just doesn't have that oomph. And you know what? Hey, it comes out that he has an AC tear in his right joint. I'm sorry, in his right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good. You do want Derek Carr to play. It's going to be ugly. It's my second best pick of the week this week. I'm going to go ahead and give it out right here, right now on the sports web. Do not be afraid, ladies and gentlemen. Bet Tampa Bay on the money line.
Whoa.
Don't even bother taking the points. You're going to get even more of a return. That's it.
Okay. All right, Ed, how do you feel about this? Give me your score prediction. Yeah.
I honestly just got totally educated there. I did not know that Derek Carr had a bum shoulder.
Yeah, AC joint. That's the talk all week long, and it looked like he was going to miss the game, and now it
Peter,
seems
he was supposed to have surgery last year, brother.
Oh,
he was supposed to have surgery, and they've kept that under wraps in Vegas. Insiders have told me they kept that under wraps. He passed all the physicals, but the ones that were not stupid, believe it or not, were the Jets. The Jets did not take him. But then again, the whole thing was they were going after Aaron Rodgers in the first place. But he almost became a New York Jet. You know what? Andrew's sitting in the back room. You ought to bring him in, and when we're done with Ed, we can get his opinion on that.
All right, Ed, give me a score prediction. Give me a player of the game.
21-17, player of the game, Devin White.
All right, there you go, Ed. Thanks a lot for the call.
Thanks.
We'll see you on the post-game edition.
Take care, Ed.
Web. Good stuff there. Let me go out to Mr. Andrew Davis right there. 2 giant goop balls. Buddy, welcome to the over-under here. How you doing?
Hey, what's up? How's it going, guys?
Doing fantastic, brother. How you been?
It's like the old days. Where's Ray at? Where's Ray at? Let's get the Legends going.
The Legends.
I think he's sleeping at this point.
No, he's not sleeping. Ray's really proud. His daughter's moving on. I guess she's moving to a different city. She's graduated from college. She's already finished her internships, and she's doing an absolutely spectacular job. Super proud of her. And I'll tell you what, he's one proud papa right now.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. All right, Andrew, give me some analysis on your New York Giants and give me some analysis of that NFC East.
First off, why don't we ask him about what happened with Derek Carr since let's finish that up. I mean, I want to know what his opinion was.
So I heard he's a bum. Yeah, I mean, Derek Carr has been like the new Andy Dalton to me, basically. He's been an average quarterback the last couple of years and occasionally just has a little bit better. But I agree with you, Harry. I mean, the shoulder's obviously an issue. It's been an issue, for a little while now. Teams were pretty smart to pass up on him. I think, honestly, the Saints offense might even be more dynamic if you put Jameis Winston in there. I mean, in all fairness, both offenses would be more dynamic because he would throw enough interceptions to help the opposing offense as well. But I mean, at this point here, I'm just not sure what Carr even is anymore, because if you can't throw down the field deep in this NFL,
throw to his left, Andrew. The guy cannot throw to his left. You can see him try, and he has to put a lot of air up under the ball. And what's happening is it's bouncing off the turf. Anything straight in front of him or to the right, he doesn't seem to have that much of a problem. And you know when I discovered it? When they were playing the Chargers last year. Hear me out. I was watching, they had a close-up of his face, and I was like, what was that? Why is he grimacing every time he's throwing the ball? Not once, but twice. And I was like, there's something going on with his shoulder. And you see him just kind of like, he gives that Jay Cutler move. Every time he throws his shoulder, he throws a pass, and Jay starts running back to the huddle, and he's, got that little twitch. But he was doing this, and I'm like, ooh, something's wrong with that shoulder. And then I started watching and I started seeing the tendencies every time he's throwing the ball to the left. I'm not saying he wasn't completing all his passes to the left. I mean, missing all his passes to the left. But that zip was definitely not there going to his left.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's a question mark. I mean, and you said it best. The Jets looked at it. They didn't want to go with it. I think it also had to do with salary. The Saints are locked in for the next couple of years, and let's face it, guys, blowing that 17-0 lead to the Green Bay Packers, that has a bad taste in their mouth. And this offense hasn't been particularly explosive. What do you say, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been very good, but again, it's an NFL contract. You can always get out of it. So they got this year and next year with Carr, and that's it. After that, they can cut him loose and save $28 million against the cap. Keep in mind that whenever you see 4 or 5 year deal, whatever the case may be with an NFL contract, it's not 4 or 5 guaranteed. So they got this year, next year, and after that, if he's not better, he's out. He'll probably be their backup next year. This continues with Winston. I mean, probably a backup in the league at that point. Somebody will still hire him as a backup, but I mean, he's been.
There's teams out there in the National Football League that are going to employ him because of, I still think Derek Carr is a good quarterback. He just needs to get his shoulder fixed. Okay, it's very similar to what happened to Baker Mayfield back in Cleveland, and I'm going to draw this to a comparison, even though they're two totally polar opposite type of quarterbacks. Cleveland didn't do Baker very much justice in Cleveland because they played that kid when he was hurt. Even though Baker said, I'm going to go in. He's a gamer, man. I mean, that's just exactly what it is. I mean, you got to give the guy respect for one thing. Hurt or not hurt, the guy wants to go out there and try to be the general, lead his brigade to a victory. And that's exactly what he did in Cleveland. But at some point, the management was supposed to protect their investment, and they didn't sit him enough. The guy was playing with a bad knee, bad neck, bad back, bad arm. I mean, the guy was breaking down. You were right in front of us. He was breaking down. He couldn't throw the ball 40 yards. Everything had to get too much air. And then all of a sudden he started playing better, and this is the final product you're getting. I still think that Derek Carr can be a good quarterback in the National Football League. But if he ends up having to have surgery, I think New Orleans made a big boo-boo, and they got some explaining to do, Lucy.
Well, they do. They definitely have some explaining to do, and I want to definitely hear from you Bucs fans out there. What do you think about this Bucs Saints game today? What's your score prediction? And, of course, what is your player of the game? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, Harry?
727-320-5866. And by the way, Pete, another really good pick. I'm not going to say beat me from here, but I'm kind of liking my chances at 17-0 -3 for the Jacksonville Jaguars over in London.
What's the score of that right now?
17-0.
Wow. Okay, so
just got to pick 6
over Atlanta at this point, and that's really not surprising to me because what do we say off air? Desmond Ridder sucks. I'm not an Atlanta fan, and I get it. Everybody was buying into Bijan Robinson and all these fantastic weapons. But if you don't have a guy that's comparable enough at the quarterback position, which I don't think Ridder is, I think you're in big trouble. What do you say, Andrew?
I mean, they already had a running back. That was, to me, was a waste of a pick. I still don't get that. I know Bijan Robinson, people think is like a once in a generation kind of talent. At least some people do. But you already had Tyler Algier, who was a very good running back as a rookie last year for them. And they had holes everywhere. And then they go ahead and get another running back. The least positional valued position on the entire roster there. And they want another star at that position. It's stupidity. This is why some franchises are just bad and why some pretty much never had that kind of stretch. I know I can't talk as a Giant fan because, we've been pretty bad lately, but
let's talk about your New York Giants. I want to talk about them. What's your analysis of your New York Giants? Because of course they get their doors blown out by the Dallas Cowboys. They nearly lose to the Arizona Cardinals, but they come back, find a way to win. I mean, kind of talk about them, where you see this team right now, and what are your concerns going forward?
I mean, I don't know even what to think of this team still, because if you look at, I try to look at this as an honest retrospect and go, okay, the Cowboys, as much as I hate the Cowboys, are a better team than the Giants on paper. So us losing to the Cowboys is not the end of the world. I hate the way we lost to them, but it's not the end of the world to lose to a better team. Then you go ahead and go, okay, we beat the Cardinals. We are a better team than the Cardinals on paper. We should have beaten them. We lose to the 49ers. The 49ers are a better team than the Giants. So we're where we should be record-wise. What's just disheartening really is kind of the injuries right now.
But really, does that make sense, Andrew?
Yes.
Honestly, I mean, because look what happened after the Giants, had to come back by 29 points, win the football game.
Yeah.
And then Dallas goes over there, and then Arizona just hands them their ass. So let's take that theory and debunk it and throw it out the window, because in the National Football League, on any given Sunday, especially a home team, can always win no matter what the spread is. That's why I keep preaching it, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful of home underdogs.
Yeah. It's the 88% rule, right?
Well, with the 2.5 points, yes. If the road team is 2.5%, if they're 2.5 point favorites, then the 88% rule is going to come into effect. So, yeah, was I disappointed the way the Giants came out and played against the Dallas Cowboys? Hey, I picked the Giants in that game because I didn't think Dallas was as good as what they are. And you know what? They really aren't, because good football teams don't play down to other teams' levels, especially to the Arizona Cardinals. So does that make the Giants world beaters? No. But there's a lot of people out there that are really undervaluing what the Giants can be this year. Honestly, they really are. Now, whether or not they get their crap together, I have no clue. But there's definitely a lot of talent on that football team. Arizona, be careful. Be very careful. This team will sneak up on some people because they can still play defense. Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, but I would say this. I think the Cowboys lost that game a lot more than the Cardinals won that game. I mean, just because of the fact that they got in the red zone every single freaking drive. They just couldn't get the damn job done. But this week is going to be interesting with the Giants overall, because we're facing the Seahawks, probably the only team in the NFL more injured than we are right now. I mean, you got, on the Giants side, Andrew Thomas is going to be out again, the stud left tackle. Saquon Barkley is doubtful. I don't see him playing whatsoever. And that's big misses for the Giants. But if you look at what Seattle is missing overall, you got Artie Burns, the corners, out. Charles Cross, their tackles, is doubtful at that point. Their Abraham Lucas, other tackle, is already out on IR right now. Kobe Bryant is going to be out for the game. Derek Hall is questionable. Draymond Jones is questionable. Trey Brown is out. Noah Fant is questionable. Evan Brown, their center, is questionable. Will Disley is their tight ends, also questionable. I mean, they have pretty much more injured players and healthy players in this roster right now. This is a get right game, I think, for the Giants potentially, if they can just get their stuff together and get this offense going right finally.
All right, let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What did you see on Monday night? Because it was definitely disappointing, especially that first half of football, 87 yards of offense, and you don't see this offense really turning it around until the fourth quarter. And have you kind of backtracked about how good the Philadelphia Eagles are? Because I kind of told you, I thought they were more improved. Harry says if they would line up again, and that's certainly a possibility. Both teams were even, but how do you feel about the Bucs, and how do you feel about the Philadelphia Eagles going forward?
I think the Bucs have definitely done more than people suspected so far this season. I mean, I don't think most people would have said 2-1 would have been not the start for them. So, good for you guys to start off better than people expected. I still stand by what I said on the Eagles. They had a lot of changes this offseason. They still haven't really destroyed a team yet. I mean, I know it wasn't exactly a highly close game with the Bucs there, but it wasn't a blowout victory by any sense of the terms there, I thought. I still think the Eagles are overrated until they prove otherwise. They somehow win these close games, which is what good teams do. I'm not knocking them for winning a close game, but I need to see a couple of blowout dominant wins, like, quite frankly, they had against my Giants last year, before I say that they're the same quality of team they were last year.
I'm going to have to agree with that, and I'm going to double down on what he just said, because I've been preaching that all year long. First off, the Philadelphia Eagles secondary is 27th in the league against the pass on those corners. Tampa Bay did not come in with the game plan that they should have. You're playing that offensive line, which is marginal at best for the Buccaneers, against a front four that's arguably one of the best in football. And you've got Baker dropping 5 and 7 step drops, trying to push the ball downfield, when the entire first half, the entire center of the field behind the linebackers was wide open. It should have been 1, 2, 3 throw. It should have been running the football, whether or not they were getting any yards. Because at one point, Philadelphia could just pin their ears back and go after them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't drop that touchdown pass in the first half, or you catch that interception, and Tampa's up 10-3. It's a little bit of a different story because now it forces Philadelphia to go ahead and pass the ball. That would have fit that would have fit very well. And I think the outcome would have been different. And that is why I said, if you line these two teams up again with the proper game plan, they do beat Philadelphia. And Andrew, you hit it right on the head. They're not as good as they were last year. I'll debate that with anybody in football.
Yeah, let's look at week 1. They gave up 316 yards and 3 touchdowns to Mac Jones.
Oh, I seen that.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones, the world beater, Steve Young.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Mac Jones that was supposed to go to Philadelphia, right, Pete?
No,
I'm sorry. That was supposed to go to Frisco. That's right. He was supposed to go to Frisco.
Well, listen, he turned out a lot better than your boy there, Trey Lance, who is with the Dallas Cowboys.
Injured, bro.
Backup quarterback.
He got injured, and nobody's going to know what
He's
Trey
not
Lance
any
is going to
good. He stinks. He absolutely stinks.
By the way,
I'm going to agree with Peter on this one.
he was never my boy. I never was a Trey Lance fan. Let's be very clear about that. I just said that I just said that Mac Jones was not going to Frisco. That's all I said. I never had Trey Lance elevated.
And listen, that's kind of a mistake right now because I feel like if Mac Jones were in that offense and that Kyle Shanahan offense, he may be a little bit more successful. And
without question.
And let's just say this. I mean, he hasn't necessarily been put in the great situation there, even with Bill Belichick. They don't have an offensive coordinator. Now they finally have one in Bill O'Brien, but who was the offensive coordinator last year? So he really hasn't been put in a great situation when it comes down to it. And I feel like if he were with the 49ers, maybe we would be talking about him in the same breath as Brock Purdy. That's how great and how user-friendly, if you will, when it comes to a quarterback, that system is.
Brock Purdy right now would be on the practice squad if Mac Jones was QB1. No, I'm not kidding you. He would be. I mean, because he would fit that offense completely.
Yeah.
The only reason I'll agree with you is he would never have gotten the chance because Mac Jones has a better health record.
Right.
But I think that Brock
it's a great
Purdy
story. I love what Brock Purdy's done, but how's he ever going to outshine Mac Jones being a first-round draft pick versus a guy that's been in 6th? I mean, come on, man.
He's a perfect fit, though, for this offense. All he's got to do is dink and dunk. He doesn't have to throw the ball down the field. If you look at the way he plays, when he tries to throw the ball more than 15 yards down the field, his arm isn't the best for those longer throws. No. But for the dink and dunk and the yak catches that you get a guy like Debo's going to get, it's a perfect system for him. It really is.
You see,
he's a smart quarterback.
You don't need that $60 million quarterback out there to run that offense. And that's why I think that Shanahan is probably the best OC in football.
And that was my point in the first place. That's the reason why I felt like they should have drafted Jones with the
But he didn't go there.
But he didn't go there. So that is their mistake. So you can go ahead and
I think they're happy with the way things turned out, considering they had the cheapest starting quarterback in the entire league right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you make? Like 400,000? Wasn't it something ridiculous?
Well, guys, remember, you give up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, who it turned out to be.
But you gave up 3 first-round picks to get your starting quarterback, and you did in the end.
Yeah, and we got one.
Yeah, you got one. We'll see.
You can't complain. It all ends well. So I was actually reading Brock Purdy even has a roommate because of how expensive it is living in the San Francisco area and how little money he's making. I'm not even kidding. Like, legit, he is a roommate.
I am really sure there's some offensive players and there's some management that's actually paying his bills. Okay, let's be real. Let's be real. I get it.
Let's go out to the comments. I got my Bucks Pub sub ready. Good stuff there, Mike. Brian Orr, I guess they're trying to tag somebody, and I love St. Pete. Ray says, let's go Bucks. Let's go Bucks.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Let's go out to Ryan. Lance will get his chance somewhere eventually from what it looks like it could be with the Dallas Cowboys, especially if Dak continues to have turnover problems. And Christopher Cole says, Ritter, 2 interceptions with 1 pick 6. Let the truth set you free.
Yeah, I will say this with Dak, though. Dak has not had the turnover issues this year. He's got only 1 interception so far, which was that one to close out that Cardinals game. I think what's happening is I think he's being too conservative because of what happened last year, and that's what's hurting the Dallas offense.
Yeah, but I think he's going to have. I think he's going to continue to have some interception issues. Maybe he has one, but he had one at the end of the game, which is critical. That's not good. You know that Dallas hates that. And then on top of it, if he's trying to do too much, like right now, he's trying to be too conservative. You got to find that balance with Dak. And is the run game there enough? I'm not sure if it is. We'll have to see. But I still think there's a reason why Jerry Jones trades for Trey Lance. You give up a 4th-round pick. There's value there. And there
it's because of the cap number. It's
right.
The cap number 100%. Because after this year, Dak's contract gets absolutely ridiculous here. So I think he's got like $50 million against the cap next year or something like that.
Yeah. Let's go out to Ed. Ed Gross here. Is Carlton Davis going to play today? It looks like he's questionable. Could be a game time decision, but it definitely seems like he's going to play because he did practice during the week. So we'll see how that works out. And going back to your point there, Harry, with the Eagles, if Devin White is healthy, he takes that pick 6 to the house. It's a totally different game. If Devin White is healthy, that Bucs defense is better against the run. They're not getting gashed for over 200 yards. If Vita Vea is healthy, if Carlton Davis is healthy. So there were a lot of factors that went against the Bucs on Monday night. And even with that being said, they were still able to stay in the game. We'll see what they can do today versus the New Orleans Saints, which, by the way, Andrew, I got to ask you, Cam Jordan says, this is not really a rivalry game between the Saints and the Bucs. What do you say?
I mean, anytime you got a divisional opponent, it's a rivalry. It's just a matter how hardcore it is at that point. You know, I think part of the issues has been, obviously, the Bucs have been good the last couple of years as the Saints have been kind of going like this. Both teams haven't been very good together at the same time, which is what really creates those elite rivalries there. But again, it's a divisional game. It's always a rivalry of some kind.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's right, because the Bucs swept the Saints last year, and also they beat them at the most important time during the playoffs. So once again, Cam Jordan spewing. There you go.
So I did look it up real quick, by the way. The cap number next year for Dak, $59 million.
There you go.
Did you say $59 million?
Yes. Now, here's the bigger issue there. If they cut him pre-June 1st, they actually have a $61.9 million dead cap hit. They'd have to cut him post-June 1st and split it up under the 2 seasons there at 25.5.
Yeah, it's not happening. That's
why they got Trey Lance.
That's exactly why they got Trey Lance. And I'm telling you right now, if Dak doesn't do good,
why they got him.
Next year, he's going to be a post-June 1st cap hit, and it's going to be a big story this whole offseason of what they're going to do with Dak.
No, I mean, I think it's a genius move. You know what? We're going to move on, Pete. You got a phone call?
Yeah, I got a phone call. We got Ed using his second call today. Ed, what do you got to say about this?
Heck, if nobody calls, I might just keep calling in. I don't know. But anyways,
why not?
But here's what I'm upset about that I've seen a lot lately. Past couple of years, defensive backs for the Buccaneers have been injured. We just gave a couple of them a big deal and throwing a lot of money, and they're still hurt. You know, Carlton Davis, you just said that he may come back. Jamel Dean is out. You know, Jamel Dean, I like him. When he's on the field and he's available, he's great.
He's been unimpressive this year when it comes to even with the signing of a new contract. He has not necessarily been the same corner as he's been through previous years. So, and now he's hurt, so you don't know how, and it's a shoulder injury, so you don't know how long that's going to happen or help. And of course, the Bucs down to their depth issues there. So you're on your third, fourth corners. That's definitely not going to help out your back end. So you would hope that not only Jamel Dean can return from injury, but also play up to the standard of the reason why the Bucs paid him in the first place in extension.
They also signed a couple of guys up from the practice squad. What do you think that's about?
Well, they're practice squad guys. So,
it doesn't mean they can't play. Obviously, they have to come in there and play special teams, or they're going to be a backup in case the third corner goes out. They have to do something like that. I mean, I don't have enough tape work to give you my honest assessment of it, but even if they're on this practice squad, they're still pretty good players, man.
Again, if you have to depend on your practice squad players and your backups, I don't necessarily feel so great about that, especially with the weapons that the Saints have. And Olave, of course, Michael Thomas, Slant Boy himself. and the other receiver there that's a speed demon, and I can't think of
I
his
know
name.
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're getting hairy disease right now. You can't remember. CRS. Andrew knows what CRS is.
Shut up
I
and
will
be
say one
quiet.
I will say one thing about the Saints. They are quietly putting together a really nice receiving core.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
they have.
if they ever do get a quarterback, they're going to be really dangerous. So, okay, that's
One
it
that
for
can
me.
throw to both sides.
What'd you say, Drew?
The one that can throw to both sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just like a guy who golfs. He can putt from either side of the tee. I'm sorry, putt
You
from
know what
either
it is?
side of his what?
Just run the ball to one side to have that off that get off center at that point for every passing play, and just put all the receivers on one side.
Thanks a lot, Ed. Appreciate the call. Let me go out to Eric. Eric, welcome to the Over Under here on the Sports Web.
What's up, man?
What's going on, bub?
It was a great day to look him and man, cars playing, banged up cars, and the Falcons stinking it up the joints.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely. The Falcons stinking it up. Desmond Ridder doing Desmond Ridder things. Not a big-time fan. I told you guys that. And that's the reason why the Falcons are not going to be as good as a lot of pundits out there have put out. So what's your Bucs score prediction, and who's your player of the game?
Oof. Honestly, I might have to say Chris Godwin.
All right, I like that. I like Chris Godwin as a player of the game. Give me a score.
And for the defense, it's going to have to be between Vita Vader or Devin White. Devin White have to do what Devin White have to do there.
Well, hopefully
I think it was player of the game, not players.
Well, that's okay. He can give the defensive players out here. That's okay. He wants to take Devin White.
Saying, Pete.
It's a good,
right, Drew?
It's a
We
good.
need to write him a ticket, Harry.
It's a good.
Oh, come on, man. I mean,
It's a violation of the terms here of agreement.
it'll be the front seven of the defense.
Shut up and be quiet. Eric, go ahead.
I'm going to say Bucks 24 and maybe Saints 21.
All right, 24-21. Anything else here, Eric?
Kick the game-winning field goal to win the game.
All right, so game-winning field goal. Does that with you, Harry? Do you like that score?
I'm going to predict that score a little bit later. But yes, I do like that score. Eric, that was an awesome call.
Appreciate you, Eric. Thanks a lot.
You know what else?
Yes.
What's up?
And I really think we might get at least one pick today.
Even with Carr starting, you still think they're going to get one pick? What about if okay.
Rookie corner.
Ricky. Okay. All right, Eric. Appreciate the call. I don't know where he was going with that rookie corner.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
But I mean-
Thanks a lot, Eric, for calling in.
Yeah, appreciate it, Eric.
The other thing is though is does Carr get a short leash because of the injury, and does Winston come in and throw some picks anyway? They didn't get. You still
I
get your
think the
picks.
first shot he gets taken from Shaq Barrett coming off his blind side, because you're going to line Shaq up on the other side. I think they're going to be pulling him out. I mean, Shaq's playing he's playing like a man on a mission. He just really is.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely.
And trust me, you will see, and I'm going to predict this. You're going to see one unnecessary roughness call on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive line. Promise you, it's going to be a late hit. Believe it, it's coming, especially if Carr is playing the game. Peter, let's get on to some other games here. You ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on.
Let's go. Let's do it. Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings are traveling on the road to the Carolina Panthers. Minnesota started the game -3. They're all the way up to -4.5. I still like him at 4.5. Peter, what do you got?
Yeah, I like him at 4.5 too. Carolina, supposedly Bryce Young could start this game, but he's a rookie quarterback. I get it. The Vikings have their major questions on defense. We talked about it last year. We're still talking about it this year. They're searching for their first win. They get their first win today. Go Vikings.
Drew?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% on the Vikings. I mean, I think that the Panthers actually looked better with Andy Dalton as a quarterback last week than with Bryce Young.
Did.
And that's not necessarily a knock on Young. He's a rookie quarterback. It's going to take a little time to get acclimated to the league and everything there. But I think they had a better chance of winning this game if Dalton was still in. The Vikings, meanwhile, their defense, yes, been horrible. But dare I say it, Kirk Cousins has been very good so far the first couple of games here.
He's on the pace to go winless and throw for 6,000 yards.
But I'm saying you
I
can't
know.
blame you can't blame it just on him at that point, except the interception against the Chargers, of course. But that's a whole other.
I think they get their first win this week, but
Yep.
it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. It is one of my better picks of the week.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you why. You ready? The Minnesota Vikings remind me of the Atlanta Falcons. Hold on, guys. The difference is that Minnesota has a really good offense. Their defenses stink, and both teams refuse to do anything about building it through the draft. I don't understand what in the world Minnesota's doing. They could be arguably the best team in the NFC if they had a defense. I mean, let's be real. And I am not a Kirk Cousins fan. He can't win the big game for nothing. Is it going to shock me if they lose? Nope. But they're supposed to just roll this team. It's going to be a close game in the first half, ladies and gentlemen, but I think Minnesota is just going to open them up in the second half and just wear out Carolina's defense because they're just not going to be able to move the ball that well. Carolina's not good on offense whatsoever. Baltimore at Cleveland. I want some opinions. Guys, which ways you guys like this game? Baltimore's getting 3.5. That means Cleveland's favored by 3.5. Peter.
If I'm going to bet on this game, I'm going to El Paso. It's too close. It's a rivalry game. I'm going to Texas on this.
Drew.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns' defense has just been absolutely amazing so far the first couple of weeks here. Sutton just tells me that the Browns will eventually become the Browns again. So we'll have to see if that's this week or not there. So I'm with Peter. I'd go El Paso. I wouldn't put money in this game.
I understand why you guys want to go to Texas in this game, and I don't generally take this many road teams. If you're going to play this game, make a very small position on Baltimore on the money line. Don't even bother taking the points. I honestly think that Jackson's going to have a phenomenal game, and I think he's going to open up the passing game for the first time this year. Cleveland goes down, and Cleveland starts to become Cleveland. Deshaun Watson's going to get his bell rung, and I think Baltimore is really going to dominate this game. Usually, they're typically a very, very close game, whether it's high scoring or it's low scoring, but I have Baltimore winning this game. Pittsburgh at Houston. Guys, on paper, who's supposed to win this game? Drew. And there's a reason. Just keep this really short, and there's a reason me asking. Drew, who's supposed to win this game? Pittsburgh at Houston.
Pittsburgh.
Okay, and what do you think the final score is going to be?
Oh, let me see here. If I had to guess, 24-21, that kind of game.
Okay, Peter?
Yeah, I think it's a close game, but a lot of people would say it's a blowout. It's going to be a blowout, but Houston's playing tough for their new defensive-minded coach, and also they're getting productive play out of their rookie quarterback, so it could be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I still think Pittsburgh wins this game because they need to win this game.
This is a classic trap game. Guys, Pittsburgh's only -2.5 in some books, and they're only -3 in some books. This game is supposed to be Pittsburgh -6, 7, or even 8 on the road. There's a reason why it's so low. Vegas wants you to bet this line. It could be a gift from the NFL gods and the gambling gods saying, here, you guys, let me give you a win. The Greek doesn't fall for traps like that. This is a second half play, guys. This is a second half play. You've got to determine what's happening in the game. There's a reason why Pittsburgh's not a huge favorite in this game, as well as the next game I want to talk about, which are the Rams at the Colts. The
Rams
Colts, it's a pick'em game, guys.
Yeah.
Why is this a pick'em game? Hold on. Last time I checked, we're only two or 3 years removed from being a Super Bowl winner. You still have Matthew Stafford, albeit he's not playing that well because he's slightly injured. You still have receivers. You still have a running game. I mean, you got a defense that's out there. Andrew, why are the Rams up? Why is this game pick'em?
Because the Colts have been playing much better than people expected, point blank. You know, I got to give kudos to the new coaching staff there, as much as I hate to, because the coach said ex-Eagle there. But, you know, this is a team that people thought was a complete rebuild mode, basically, and has outplayed what people expected. The Rams have been playing, I think, a little better than some expected as well, but there's still that fallout from last year because they were just so bad. The other question is, and maybe you guys know, I'm trying to look it up as we're talking there, is Puka Nacua going to play this week?
I have no idea.
Because that's a big part of that. They need that one receiver.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, and I think a lot of people just kind of left the Rams for dead along with the Colts because the Colts are starting a rookie quarterback, but now it's Gardner Minshew. He's at the controls, and I feel like a veteran quarterback gives them more of a better chance to win. So I would not be surprised to take the Colts in this. I'm not a Ram believer. I think Matt Stafford has seen his best days. That offensive line is not very good. It showed last week. I kind of like the Colts in this game.
Trap game, ladies and gentlemen. You got one from the Rams. You got one from the Colts. You got one from, who knows, the ball boy, the water boy, the guy coming out who cleans the lockers. I have no idea. All I know is you cannot bet this game. If you do, you're sick individual.
Yes.
If you want to make a wager, watch the first half and then determine what you can do in the second half. That's why I can honestly say this is definitely a game you got to go to Texas on. Look, we've covered up some of the really, really good games, but let's talk about some of the exciting games that are coming up, guys.
Well,
how about the Miami Dolphins with 70 points traveling up to Pittsburgh? What were you going to say, Pete? My apologies.
No, I just wanted to go out to the comments really quick. I think our game ball will go to our run game today, 27 to $20. If our run game is over 100, we get the time of possession. I mean, what do you think about that? Because you've kind of preached, and this run game has been very disappointing. Do you think it turns around today? Todd Bowles has mentioned White, not necessarily running a little bit too patient and also trying to have too many big plays when he just needs to go there and run to the hole as strong as he can. What do you say, Harry?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I honestly don't think that Canales is actually the offensive coordinator. I honestly think that he's been, I think Byron Leftwich reincarnated into Dave, honestly, into Canales. I don't know why, but
I think it's Todd Bowles. I think it's Todd
Bowles'
influence.
Come on, man. Todd Bowles wants to run the football. Okay.
Yeah, but you really can't run the football when there's 10 men in the box, and then you get a safety. And
sure, you can.
Well, they
sure you can. You can run it. You can go 3 and out, and then all of a sudden you break one loose, and then hey, guess what happens? And you go play action pass. I mean, Andrew will even agree with that one.
Well,
sometimes running teams, that's what they do. What'd you say, Drew?
So what do you mean even Andrew would agree with that?
Even Andrew's got to agree with that. It wasn't anything bad. I mean, for God's sake. I mean,
wow.
Honestly, think about that. I didn't mean anything bad by that. But Drew, honestly, I mean, running teams, they go through lulls like that. And when you don't have success running the football, the defense still has to respect the running game, and that does open up your passing game. Hasn't it been like that since the forward pass was invented, Drew?
Yeah, basically. I mean, if you're a running team, you're going to run the ball with not the greatest success. You should start off the game, and you slowly wear down that defense. You open up the play action pass, which obviously Baker could use a little help with that line the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, I agree 100%. But for whatever reason, the Bucs, the running game just doesn't exist.
Well, it doesn't exist because it's not only play calling, because that doesn't make any sense. If you're in your own end zone, you got 10 men in a box, you're still running the ball. They're expecting you to run the ball. But, furthermore, your offensive line isn't consistent enough. They're not opening up the holes, the interior of the line, especially on the right side and the left side. I know you hate Pro Football Focus, but you look at the numbers, they're absolutely god-awful and have to improve today versus a very stingy Saints rushing defense. So it may be tough going again, but, of course, as you always say, you've got to be balanced, and I agree with you. You're going to have to be balanced. And is Rashad White the running back? Is Sean Tucker the guy, or did they need to go outside the organization? I'm not ready to say that yet, but if it continues with them having difficulty to run the ball, it's either A, on the offensive line, or B, it's on the running back, and you don't have the right guy. Let's go out to Mike says Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Mike says 31-10. I think he's saying that about Pittsburgh. Defense gets 3 turnovers, says Ryan Turner for the Bucs. And I'm watching the Toy Story version because I don't have
ESPN. Hilarious.
Okay,
how is that version, by the way, guys?
It's horrible. It's horrible. I tried it.
I think it's hilarious. I mean, I can't sit there and watch it. I'm like, this looks like a cartoon version of Madden.
So I started watching it. I wanted to see what it was, and I started watching it. And they do like the crane game thing to drop the ball at the line of scrimmage. Yep. And then there was an issue with it. So the ball got dragged off to the sideline randomly. And the camera, I guess, probably the way it's set up to program this thing, the camera goes to the ball on the sideline, and I like miss the second offensive play that the Falcons had. I'm like, I'm done right there. I'm done. Like, they're trying to get kids interested. They're trying to do something different. I get it, but it sounds like the technology is not quite there for them yet.
How about just, present the game as it is? When I was a kid, we watched football. It was no Toy Story version. There was no slime. There was no nothing. You just watched friggin' football. That's it.
When you were a kid, there was barely TV, though.
Well, that's very true. I mean, there was like 3 channels. You didn't have so many choices. I get that. You didn't have TikTok and YouTube and all this other nonsensical stuff that kids are into.
Nonsensical. You're on TikTok. Stop.
Well, I am TikTok, but that's a social media thing.
How about trying to watch a game?
Yeah.
I implore everybody that's out there to shut the volume off and watch a football game.
Right.
No, it's wonderful. It really is, because you're not hearing biased opinions. You know what's even better? Watching a baseball game without the volume on, but you turn your radio on to listen to the announcers. You want to talk about a story? That's unbelievable, man.
It is a story, but it's a little bit behind, so you can't necessarily.
I understand.
You could pause your TV for a second.
Pause your TV to get to it, okay? But I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Listen to the game.
That sounds like
on
Rich
the radio
problems. I don't have a DVR.
And watch. Oh God, Lord,
DVR. Who has a DVR nowadays? It's all streaming. Stop.
Yeah, Peter. Jeez.
I can't stop my streaming.
All right, let's get on to the next game, ladies and gentlemen, because you guys, my God, you all are killing me. Miami Dolphins, who dropped a 70 burger on the Denver Broncos, are playing Buffalo. Who do you guys like here? And then I'll tell you what the line is, Andrew.
Sorry, I was actually watching the score real quick because the Falcons just scored in the end zone. The Drake London touchdown.
Wow.
Very
Drake
close.
London in London. There you go.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins, are they flying home or are they swimming home?
So I actually think this is going to be a game much more like their week 2 matchup against the Patriots. I think the Dolphins are one of those teams that they get hot, they get cold, they get a little bit cold there. I think it's going to be a little lower scoring than people think, and something about me trusts the Bills more than trusting the Dolphins overall. And I think that was kind of an anomaly against a very bad team, a very badly coached team, I should say as well. I think that shot at Sean Payton for his comments at Hackett there. I think the Bills pulled this out, actually. I do. I think they start pulling away as the best team in that conference there. Peter?
I mean, they're fast on the outside, right? I mean, you got, of course, Waddle. You've also got Tyreek Hill. A very fast team. Can Tua stay healthy? That's the big-time question. I tend to agree with Andrew. I'm going to go with Buffalo in the close one. I think it's not going to be as high scoring as 70-20, though. So low scoring.
Bold prediction, Peter. You both score 70 points.
Peter, and you heard it live right here on the over-under on the Sports Web, where Peter Blake says he predicts that the Miami Dolphins are not going to score 70
Put
points.
all your money on that bet, guys.
Put all your money on that one.
Put it in.
Put all the chips in the middle right there on that one. I think they'll stop him at 60.
This is Peter playing poker. He doesn't show emotion. He's got aces already.
Seriously.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
Andrew's going, fold. Here's my pocket kings. The Greek's going, I got pocket queens. Fold. Peter's like, I couldn't get anybody to call me. I had aces. No kidding. Listen. Wait till about 5 minutes before game time. The Buffalo Bills were 3.5-point favorites in this game. It dropped all the way to 3, and now it's 2.5. And I suspect it's going to go to 2, maybe even only 1.5. If you like Buffalo, like I do, wait till just before game time. Go ahead and get Buffalo. You're going to get a better line. So I'm going to answer the question. I think the fish are swimming home. I do not believe they're flying home. I think it comes to an end, which also leads me to believe that the Chicago Bears are playing the Denver Broncos, and I believe the Bears might actually get their first win.
The Bears.
The
Bears.
And hold on, and Adam Padermo. May we go another year without a victory. I mean, what was that?
It's highly likely with this coaching staff and running back as a QB.
Wow,
That was true. I really love Justin Fields. Wish we had a Mitch Trubisky.
It's sad when that's an upgrade.
Oh my God, it's horrible. Anyway, seriously, guys, it's been a year since Chicago Bears have won the game. Denver got 70 points dropped on them. Sean Payton was totally embarrassed in this game. But life is all better because my buddy Adam Padero from O'Reilly Auto Parts called me up and said, I'm starting JF1 in every one of my fantasy leagues. This is the week he gets 50 points. And I'm like, I love his enthusiasm. God, can he be right? I'm hoping he's wrong because I want that number 1 pick, and then Carolina gives me the number 2 pick. Gentlemen,
yes.
With you, Andrew, did the Bears get their first victory? What happens in this game?
And
by the way, Denver's favorite by 3 points on the road. If it goes to 2.5, well, that means Chicago's going to win because of the 88% rule. But go ahead, Andrew.
I really think that we're going to call it the toilet bowl game. It's not the Super Bowl. It's the toilet bowl game here. It's the two of the
Well, it is Chicago.
I'm just saying here, it's just after giving up 70 points last week by the Broncos now and then going against the Bears. I think it's safe to say, and we'll let Peter give the call on this one. I think the Bears will not score 70 points in this game. We'll let Peter make the deciding factor on that one there.
Yeah, Bears are not going to score 70. Denver's definitely not going to score 70. I don't know, guys. I mean, this may be a 10-9 game. I mean, both offenses have struggled. Both coaching staffs have struggled. I'm going to say the Chicago Bears pick up their first win, and maybe that's a kiss of death here.
Nope.
I was high on them. I'll go with the Chicago Bears picking up their first win, and a close one, like 13-10, something like that.
What did I tell you guys all offseason? The team that wins the offseason does not win the regular season. People were high on the Bears because they made a ton of moves because they had like $500 million in cap space this offseason. It's not working because the coaching staff is horrible. You have a QB that's a running back.
They suck.
You have malcontents all over the roster. Chase Claypool is now inactive for the game after his comments this week. I think that the Broncos will win this game, and it very well may save Sean Payton's job because, I mean, seriously, if you go 70 points and then you lose to the Bears, that's automatic grounds for dismissal. I'm sorry.
So you can say that about the Chicago Bears. If they lose, do they finally fire a head coach?
They already should have fired weeks ago.
Let me tell y'all a little story.
They're not going to fire him.
Let me tell you guys a little story. Oh, I gotta play my porn music while I'm talking.
It's about growing up in the west side of Philadelphia where you were born and raised.
Oh yeah. The only thing we're missing here is a little fat Mike.
Oh God. Oh yeah. It's all about family.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
The Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears
are getting 3 points.
Yeah.
They're feeling
and they win their first game. Play them on the money line. I'm going with Adam. And everything is going to be okay back in Chicago. You know why? Because then Justin Fields is going to look like Justin Herbert, and I don't know, and I have no idea. Who the hell knows
Justin
what's
Herbert?
gonna happen? I don't get it.
Herbert. They would hope. I got to ask you this. Sean Payton's on the other sideline, former Bears quarterback. If Sean Payton is the coach of the Chicago Bears, are they better off? Seeing what you see with Denver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I believe they're better off because Sean Payton actually knows how to call a game plan for a quarterback of his type of skill set. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. But then again, look at what he's doing with Russell Wilson. You guys may be very correct.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Let's ride, baby.
Let's ride.
Oh, yeah. Let's ride.
Oh, yeah.
Flawless victory.
Absolutely. Hey, did we cover everything? Are we all done? No, we didn't talk about the Washington, whatever their name is this week, against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are a 9-point favorite at home. Drew, do you like this game?
I believe they're still pending litigation, the Commanders, because they are getting sued right now again over the name.
Yeah, but they want to be called, hold on, you ready? They want to go back to the Redskins, not the organization, but the Redskins want the Redskins. Did I say that correctly, Andrew? Please correct me, because I'm not
I believe
correct.
One particular tribe is suggesting that it's insulting they got rid of the name.
Yes.
So I think that's the lawsuit going on.
Okay.
Yes!
Who? My brain just froze again. Let me reboot.
Yes!
Okay, I'm all good again. I'm like the cyborg from 2050. Anybody catch that video on TikTok?
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Domo. Domo. 9 points, man. That's way too much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You really are, Drew.
We broke Peter again.
Peter broke.
Oh, God.
Well, you know what? On the show that he was on yesterday, was it yesterday? No, it was Friday. On the J.P. Peterson show. It's
all red like a bowl
11:45
full of jelly
Hold
right
on.
now.
It's right around the 11:45, and I'm like, oh, man, I got to call in. I just turned it on. I'm on my way to the other shop, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, they're talking Johnson's and baby oil. I'm not kidding you. No. Seriously, you got to check this out. They were talking about baby oil and their Johnsons. And I'm like, I got to be part of this.
I'm going to say I was not talking.
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me that those two were talking about baby oil and their Johnsons, and you said I got to be a part of this?
I got to be part. I got to be part of this.
I have to make sure I heard this correctly.
Hey, I'm not shamed, buddy. Hey, there's no shame in the game. You don't want to get any chafing? Stop. Baby oil works great.
Oh my God!
I was not talking about it at all. I was just laughing.
Peter and JP are talking about Johnson's and baby oil. That's exactly what it was about. Look, all you got to do is just go back and look at the film.
JP and Sammer were talking about it, and I was like, okay.
And Peter was in the background going, yeah, I know much about this as I do golf.
Pretty much.
Four.
As usual, the show went off the rails.
No, never.
It did. Cincinnati at the
Shut up!
Hang on, before I go to the Cincinnati game, guys,
we skipped the game. We didn't even go to the game here.
Oh, we watched.
I know I did.
I mean, I think
9 points. Does Philadelphia win by 9?
Yes. No. Yes.
I say no. It's a divisional game. Peter, tell me why it's yes.
Because Sam Howell is a terrible quarterback, and he's shown that. He's held the ball way too long. He's gotten sacked a lot. Maybe it's on the offensive line. Maybe it's on Howell. But coming out of North Carolina, the big thing was he held the ball too long. Guess what? It's translated over to the National Football League. I like Philly to win this game. Get their offense together. A get-right game, A.J. Brown to have a big game, this running game to continue to do what they've done throughout the season, like Philly.
Drew.
Yeah, I'm not buying Sam Howell. I haven't from the get-go. I've said it was a mistake for them not to go ahead and get an actual legitimate quarterback for this season. But in the end, who beat the Eagles streak last year? What team beat them for the first time?
Washington did.
Right, which is even more of a reason why I would say they're going to have something to prove with the chip on their shoulder. They're not going to allow that to happen 2 years in a row.
The reason it happens is because what they do is they run the ball, regardless of outcome, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
If there's one thing the Commanders do, they don't care how many yards they're going to get. They can get 2 yards. They'll be fine because they'll go 3 and 6 and go at least it's shorter than 3rd and 10 if we miss the first 2 passes. They're going to control the clock, and they're going to frustrate the hell out of the Eagles because they're going to keep running it down their throats.
I agree.
And I'm telling you, it's going to be a closer game than I think people think. And Sam Howell, again, not a good quarterback, but we talked about it before. Mac Jones had how many yards against these Eagles?
Yeah, that's true. And I'm going to say this, man. You guys are giving Sam Howell too much of a bad rap. The guy throws every pass with a conviction. I think he can make every throw. Peter, seriously, let's talk about Johnson's and baby oil. This guy doesn't hold on to the ball too long. I don't know what film you're watching. I think he's playing really good football with a makeshift offensive line right now. And I think with a better game plan and a little bit more seasoning, I think he's going to develop to be a decent quarterback in the National Football League. You didn't hear me say Tom Brady-ish. I just said a decent quarterback that can lead this offense. And let's not forget about this defense because the Washington, Commanders can play defense with anybody in the National Football League. So I say take the 9 points. This is a very small position, but take the 9 points on the road at Philadelphia.
Now, I will say they only scored 35 points against the Broncos, which is half as many points as the Dolphins got.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll score 70 points, Pete?
No, I definitely don't think they're scoring.
I guarantee it. Listen,
This guy sucks.
Here's a game to watch out for. This could be an 88% roll game if it gets to the 88% roll of 2.5 points. Cincinnati at Tennessee. Cincinnati right now is -2, but they're -125. What that means, it generally means if Cincinnati keeps taking more money at 2, because the juice is higher, it's going to move up a half a tick, and it's going to get to the 2.5. If it gets to 2.5, bet the game, bet Tennessee at home, not merely because they're a better football team, but because of the 88% rule. Simple. Gentlemen, any comments?
I don't know if I'm betting on this game. I think I'm going to go to El Paso because Cincinnati struggled offensively. I'm not sure what Tennessee is with Ryan Tannehill and, of course, Derrick Henry.
That's why I said the 88% rule. You go with the home team if it goes to 2.5. It's at 2. Yeah. It will be 2.5 at game time.
I guess you go with Tennessee, but I can't imagine Cincinnati being 1-3 at this point. So I'm going to go with Cincinnati winning this game and a close one to go 2-2.
How about you, Drew?
I'll take the Bengals all day long. I just
even at 2.5.
Yeah, I just hope for my sake that Burrow's got usable legs and everything, because that's the big issue right now is his health. But I mean, the Titans are in a half rebuild mode. Derrick Henry has not been good all year so far. Ryan Tannehill had 100 yards passing last week. I mean, it's just like
not 70 points, by the way. He's not.
Granted, they were playing the Browns. We're talking before how great the defense is for the Browns, but Tannehill's numbers last week was 13-25 for 104 yards. Derrick Henry 11 carries, 20 yards. That's bad.
Oh, it is bad.
It's really bad.
Okay, so we got everybody's opinion, but I'm telling everybody, keep an eye on that game right before game time. If it goes to 2.5 and you believe in the 88% rule, then you take the home team. Next, moving on. Las Vegas Raiders. The Chargers.
Releasing Chandler Jones, by the way, this last couple of days. That's a shame.
Chargers are 7-point favorites at home. That's a lot of points. Andrew?
Yeah. There's a good reason for that, and that's because Jimmy G is not playing. It's the Aiden O'Connell show.
There you go.
Oh, yes, the Aiden O'Connell show. I dislike the Chargers very much, mostly because I hate their coach. I think it's a hack job of a coach. He should be out of this league, especially with some of the dumb moves he made, like going for it on 4th down against the Vikings. But in the end, this is basically a gimme game at that point for the Chargers, because what are you expecting out of a 4th-round quarterback starting his very first game in the NFL? I'm not expecting much. So,
Peter?
Yeah, Chargers all day long.
You know who's a worse coach? Josh McNugget. In fact, consequently, he should be serving McNuggets at a McDonald's the way he coaches. Stick to me. I'm loving it. He should be definitely doing that. I feel hungry now. I haven't ate breakfast yet, so don't tease.
McGriddles. Ooh, McGriddles sound good right now.
Good, and then you got the bacon, egg, and
Hungry Howies.
I love Hungry Howies. Absolutely, I'm hungry.
It reminds me of work too much.
We shut up and be quiet. The Chargers win this game outright.
Peter's for sale. You can let him go down to your Tires Plus store. You can go ahead and advertise it. Peter's going to carry the sign and twist it on the street for you. Or hold on. Back in the day, we had tire outfits. Okay.
Here comes the money.
That's all it's all about.
And
right there.
I had one called Mr. Tuffy.
Yeah.
And dude, it's hilarious. It's a complete outfit. You look like the Michelin Man and you dance. And every time you move, the whole thing jiggles left and right. Andrew, if you don't have it, they have it at my old store. Go grab it. And Peter's going to wear it. Peter will wear it for $100 out in front of your store. He's going to love it.
I'm trying to get customers, not scare them away. Thank you.
No, it'd be hilarious. They won't be able to see him. And he'll do the live remotes.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. $100 a day. I'm up for it.
I absolutely love the Chargers in this game. This is the get-right game for the Chargers. If Jimmy G was playing, I love the momentum. I love what they were doing in Las Vegas. Nobody else did. I've seen a lot of good things, but really? No chance. Vegas wins. Not Vegas. The Chargers win this game in a roll. Absolute romp.
Route. Should be a route.
Keep rolling.
You know me.
Keep rolling.
New England Patsies are at the Dallas Cowboys.
We're going Limp Bizkit, not watch this year.
I listen. I love Limp Bizkit, and yes, this is the rollie right there. So it is rolling. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, guys, let's not talk about Johnson's baby oil and Rolex.
We're talking about
watches.
Fred Durst here now, okay?
Fred
Durst,
Durst.
yes.
The Patriots are at the Cowboys. Cowboys are -6 at home.
Mhm.
Andrew, do they get it right against the Patriots? Isn't that a lot of points, especially against a Bill Belichick?
That's a ton of points, which is why I think the Cowboys will win, but I think the Patriots will cover the spread.
Peter?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a closer game just because what you always say here, the Greek. Bill Belichick takes away your best weapon. That's what he does. He'll keep this team close. I like the Cowboys to win in a close one.
I'm going to say you go to Texas for real on this game. And I'm not talking about betting Dallas. I'm talking about El Paso. This is not even a second half play. I don't really trust very many games that Belichick is a part of. I don't know whether he's cheating or what the hell he's doing.
No, that's a wild
Yeah,
allegation.
Spy
Wild
gates,
allegations.
inflate
Can't do it.
gates.
Can't do it.
No.
And before we get to the hang on,
Watergate, use deep throat.
Watergate, my gate, your gate, Johnson's and baby oil. I have no idea. But before we get to the Arizona Cardinals Frisco game and Kansas City versus the New York Jets, I want to take a moment and talk about the new laws in the National Football League and the rules they have against gambling.
You love that.
I've talked about it for a long time. I'm the one that was standing on the soapbox, and very soon I'm going to call a friend of mine, and Mr. Pete Rose, and I want to have a conversation with him because I wanted to know his feeling on what happens if you get caught gambling on your sport.
Feelings.
Let's see.
Nothing more than
Feelings. Okay, Barbara, let me finish my point here.
Send in the clowns.
Send in the clowns. Johnson's.
Oh, we
and
broke
baby
Peter
oil.
again. We broke him again.
Peter's broke.
He's shaking and stirred.
who the hell cares?
You bet on football, you get a 1-year
Look at that.
suspension.
He's so ready. He's matching the background of the screen here. It's like
I know. No, but seriously, man, you bet
like a
on
green
if you
screen
bet
gone
on
wrong with his
if you
face.
bet on a game in the National Football League,
Feelings.
the commissioner says you get a 1-year suspension.
Adam
If you get
Thielens.
caught betting on your own team, you get 2 years. But they're not stipulating if you bet on your team to win or lose, you get 2 years. And if it's a third time, then you're banned for life. Pete got caught one time and he was banned for life. Hell,
Well,
his
hold on.
grandkids are banned.
Feelings.
His whole issue is it took him how long to admit what he was doing.
Well, that's what it comes down to.
Now, come on, man. Let's talk about the
lie.
elephant in the
Over
room.
a
Why is
Hold
worse than
on.
the actual law broken?
Hold on. Do you know why? Because the Major League Baseball is not making billions of dollars like the National Football League is making. And they wouldn't go to bed with gambling in the 80s and the 90s like they are right now in 2023. Okay? Let's be real. The NFL does not want to suspend these players, but they have to set a precedent, and they're going, oh, we're going to be very strict here.
Feelings.
We're going to give you 1 year or 2 years and then a ban for life on the third offense. Give me a break. If Major League Baseball was making money like the National Football League was making now, back then, Pete Rose would be in the Hall of Fame and Pete Rose would still be managing a baseball team. Maybe not. Now he's getting a little bit on the older side. But let's be real. It's all about the greenbacks. That's why Pete's suspended for life, because they're not making billions of dollars like the National Football League is. And if anybody wants to contest that with me, I dare you. Bring it on.
Feelings.
Nothing more.
Should the
than
NFL also
feelings.
apologize to Justin Blackman then for not caring about pot anymore?
For now what?
Well, no, you're thinking of what's his name? Sir Smoke-A-Lot, the guy who played for Cleveland.
No, I'm talking Justin Blackman. Justin Blackman. He had the 2 years, then he was suspended and just never played again.
Yeah, and then you had the other wide receiver.
He should be upset. And you know what? They should have suspended and banned Calvin Ridley, not for just gambling on football, but because of the way he laid that parlay. Here's the funny part, and I definitely don't agree with this. The guy put it together.
Someone say parfait.
Parfait. A parlay. He put an 18 parlay together. 18.
I'm loving
Everyone
it.
loves a parfait.
Hold on, I'm being serious here. 18 parlay. Who the hell's putting 18 parlays together? The guy should be banned from
You're
football.
talking about yogurt parfaits, and I'm getting hungry. I'm ready to make a trip to. I'm loving it. McDonald's.
Oh man, you're killing me, Pete.
Feelings.
I got a
Nothing
coffee cake
more
in the oven
than-
right now. So
Oh,
You got a coffee cake in the oven?
Wow.
Feelings.
Feelings.
Oh my God. Are you going to invite us over? Arizona Cardinals are at the San
This is what
Francisco
happens when you marry
49ers.
a food blogger. Okay.
I understand. San Fran's minus 14 at home against Arizona. Peter, I'm going to start with you.
Is this a trap game? Because Arizona has basically every
No,
team played
let me interrupt. A trap game is when it seems too good to be true.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
generally is. No, that means if San Francisco
It's
was
a
only
trap.
minus 5 or 6, then I'd say this is a trap game. There's something wrong here.
Right. I'm just saying that's a lot of points. That's what I meant. There's a lot of points there. I think Arizona can keep this close. I don't know. I guess you bet San Francisco here. I mean, what do you say? Arizona has played all these close games. Is it eventually the week where they get their doors blown off and they show that they're really Arizona at
You're
this point?
kind of answering your own question. I need an answer.
You know what?
Do, 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 do.
Well, I got the Jeopardy music right here. I'm going to go San Francisco winning outright in a blowout over Arizona. How about that?
That's almost as good as the 70-point prediction. But go ahead, Drew, you're next.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, I'm going to say the Cardinals do cover the spread. I mean, you got Brandon Ayuk had his injuries going on. Debo Samuel's also got some injuries he's battling as well. The Cardinals have played a very good defense recently in the Cowboys and held their own and obviously won that game. So I'm going to trust they're going to at least keep it close enough to cover the spread.
I don't normally lay 14 points, but I can't help it. This Frisco team's the best team in the National Football League, even with the injuries that they're still sustaining. I think that Arizona might get goose-egged today. And I'm thinking something like 35-0.
Yeah.
It's going to be that ugly today. I'm actually going to, I'm giving that pick out. Lay the 14. Lay the wood and the 49ers today. Don't be scared. Don't do it. Just
feelings.
You scared?
Don't be scared and leave your Johnsons alone and definitely put the baby oil away. But if it does cover,
baby oil,
grab the baby oil.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. That's what I was talking about with Arizona losing this game in a blowout.
Keep in mind the Giants, my Giants, as bad as they looked so far this season, were only down by 1 touchdown going into the fourth quarter against these same San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, I know. Because the Giants are a lot better than what people are giving them credit for. Kansas City, the Chiefs. With or without the Swifties in tow.
Oh, she's going to be there.
Are traveling to the Jets. Oh, my God. Probably the best defense in the National Football League. It looked very pedestrian lately. And there's a lot of reason for it.
They're tired.
Kansas City's -8 at +100. They are trying to get you to bet Kansas City because you know why, guys? This game originally started out as 10, and it's all the way down to 8. I'm going to go first on here. Don't be scared. Take the Jets. And you ready? Take them on the money line. You're going to get +350 at home. Make it a small position. Don't even bother taking the points. I think the Jets right their ship this week, and they win a very, very, very low-scoring game. They get after Patrick Mahomes today. Very similar to what happened against Buffalo. Andrew?
I think it was really a cruel summer for the Jets overall with everything they went through and now having this. They got to go ahead and try to shake it off somehow and win this game. But there's something just kind of enchanted about the Chiefs, and I just think that...
Enchanted.
I think that it's their style to win overall. I think Peter might understand what I'm doing. I don't think you do, Harry.
Does it involve baby oil?
No, oh yeah. No, those are all Taylor Swift songs. But I think that the Chiefs are going to just...
Tell us the truth. Are you a Swiftie, Drew?
No way in hell. I actually had to Google. I actually Googled Taylor Swift songs on the second screen here.
I think he's lying, Peter. You?
No, I don't know if he's lying or not. He may be on pop culture, so he may know some Taylor Swift songs.
Honestly, I had to Google it. I had no. I literally have a second screen up here with all these things.
Google it. There you go.
Yeah, but yeah, no, the Jets are nowhere near as good as long as they decide to keep with this whole Zach Wilson mistake. I don't get it.
Yes.
And what really boggles me, and listen, I feel bad for Jet fans overall to have that kind of hype and then have a third passing down, Aaron Rodgers is gone. But who I don't
Do you
feel
really
bad for,
honestly feel bad?
I really do. They haven't won anything since the 60s. I mean, you're a Bears fan, Harry. You understand what it's like not winning anything forever. I mean, it's sad. I feel bad for them. But who I don't feel bad for is the Jets organization. When you have Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan reach out to you, not even you reached out to them, they reached out to you, and you're like, oh no, I don't know, Trevor Simeon's available, let's get him. You deserve every goddamn loss you get, Jets.
You know, there was rumors that the Jets and the Bears were talking about Justin Fields for a second and a fifth with Zach Wilson. I was like, yeah, pull the trigger.
Yeah, obviously, you guys, I would.
Pull the trigger. Let him go there, because then
the Jets have a running game at least.
Yeah, they do, but they still have a running game. No, they still have a running game with Dalvin.
Wildcat offense, like Pat White coming back to the league.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Peter, who do you like in that game? Is it a bold prediction if I'm telling people to take the Jets? I mean, I got to be right once.
I mean, the first half, maybe they keep it close, but after that, I think Kansas City blows their doors off because the defense does get tired, and already there's talk of Zach Wilson, basically being favored by the coach and not, being questioned for his mistakes. And of course, the big thing, and I kind of go back to with the Buccaneers defense and with Tony Dungy, the offense was so bad, the defense had to carry the day, but eventually somebody, has to accept a decision and the responsibility, and that falls on Zach Wilson and this offense's inability to score points. Eventually, that's going to get on the defense's nerves. That's why I like that, not only that locker room to implode with him being at the controls. Trevor Simeon, I think, will be eventually the starter, will give them an opportunity for that defense to excel and the offense to score some points. I like Kansas City in this game.
Yeah, I kind of like it. And by the way, breaking news for all you Chicago Bear fans.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool is a healthy scratch today.
As I said, he's inactive.
There you go, right there.
He was also criticizing the Bears' offensive game plans and that they're not using him correctly. You got to catch the ball when it's thrown to you.
Agree, but you look at his numbers, he does have somewhat of a point, doesn't he? Let's go out to Christopher.
Or he's not that good.
Well,
there you go.
They have glitches, but it's getting better. And then Zach Mitchell here says, I just don't feel confident enough to bet Jets with Zach Wilson leading the offense. Exactly.
That's Zach on Zach crime.
Yep. I mean, and again, you're exactly right. The accountability, though. I rather have Zach Mitchell.
Your grandmothers.
Well, listen, I'd rather have Zach Mitchell as the quarterback of the Jets than Zach Wilson. That's probably the problem.
Now we're talking about baby oil and grandmothers.
You got grandmas right here, nothing but feelings.
Oh yeah,
you touch your microphone. You do that, Pete.
Zach Wilson's been feeling some grandmas, all right.
You're just not right, Pete. I think I'm going to cancel you.
You said feeling. Well, go ahead, cancel me. Hold on. I'll tell you what. Let's go out to the phone lines here. I'm curious to see. James, welcome to the Over Under here on the Sports Web. What do you have to say about your Raiders today? Okay, well, not much. There you go. Yeah. He believes that Josh McDaniels should be at McDonald's with McNuggets. I'm loving it.
What he did was he just summed up all of the scoring drives for the Raiders today.
There you go. Exactly. Absolutely correct.
You guys are killing me, man.
Josh McNugget.
Josh McNugget. How does that guy have a job?
I have no idea.
After that Colts debacle and what he did to Denver. Yeah.
How does Blaine Gabbert have a job? Who knows? He's a backup quarterback.
That's easy. It's a backup quarterback. You just put on a uniform and hold the clipboard. I mean, it's not that difficult.
All right, let's go back out to the phone lines here. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Welcome to
James, Palm Harbor.
All right, James. You called
disconnected.
All right. What do you have to say about your Raiders?
The Raiders.
Hopefully we can get the win. Hopefully we can get Josh Jacobs going. I do got a question though. With Deshaun Watson out, do I start Amari Cooper?
Is Deshaun Watson out of the game?
Deshaun Watson's out of the game?
Watson is inactive.
What?
Wow.
Hold on, because I took a bold prediction with Baltimore. That might not be a bold prediction anymore.
100%. He just
sure is. Hold on.
Shoulder injury. Out.
Jaguars game, and it came on the bottom and said he is inactive, and Derek Carr will start
Out
Saints
versus
against
the
those
Ravens
Buccaneers.
with a shoulder. Okay, so yes, this is broke about 42 minutes ago. Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson out versus Baltimore with a shoulder injury. So once again,
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
well,
rookie.
I like the Ravens, and I would not start Amari Cooper. Would you start Amari Cooper in fantasy football with a rookie quarterback?
Me? You're
Yeah.
asking me about fantasy football?
Yeah, the guy who never.
I'd rather talk about Fantasy Fest.
Well, I think you
What
would
I'm
rather
looking for right now.
Do you think Cooper's going to do anything with a rookie quarterback?
No, I do not. Not against Baltimore and Baltimore's defense. I actually had Baltimore winning the game outright, even though they were catching points. Now Baltimore is now -2. Thank you for the heads up on the James. If you didn't do that, that's unbelievable, because I even like my position better now because I got them when Baltimore was getting points.
Yeah, I was going to go to Texas
be a
on
shocker.
that. Yeah,
don't be surprised if that team comes back with a rookie. You never know.
I'm telling everybody right now, thanks to James, he went ahead and spread it. If you were betting Baltimore, get on it now before it gets up to 4 and 5.
Yes,
I am seeing a quote here that apparently Deshaun Watson said he's working with a team of masseuses trying to fix this injury in time for next week. But
I see the
no
same
word
thing.
yet.
McDonald's is sponsoring and saying, I'm loving it.
I'm loving it. Go ahead, James. What'd you say?
I said he's getting his rub and tugs. He's loving it.
Oh, God.
That towel's getting smaller and smaller by the day.
He must have been in the J.P. Peterson show with Peter talking about.
Oh, my God. Who the hell cares?
All right. Well,
feelings.
Good Monday, good Sunday football.
All right, man. There you go. Thanks a lot, James. Appreciate it. Yeah. Alexander walking around right now. He doesn't care.
What?
Yeah.
He's right there. You see him? He's blocking Mike Alstott's jersey. What are you doing back there, Al? Al, get out of the window.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers line has moved to getting 4 points.
Wow.
Told ya. Love it. Told ya.
Loving it.
Oh, God. I got some final preparations. Andrew, all good things must come to an end. Please tell me.
What final preparations are you on? Are you on preparation H yet?
You're such a jerk. Andrew, tell everybody where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, so Two Giant Goofballs, New York Giants podcast there. You talk NFL overall in general as well, though. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all the audio podcast platforms, and go live about 4 times a week right now. So check us out.
Sounds good. Drew, it's always a pleasure having you on.
Yes,
try not to be so long next time.
Well, listen, all you do is drop the line. You notice I'm right in.
I know.
Like I have a life outside of football.
Take care of yourself, buddy.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Drew from Two Giant Goofballs. If you ever get a chance, you want to go ahead and check his show out. It's actually really cool. He talks a lot, not just about Giants, but he does talk about a lot of things in the National Football League. Peter, so what's going on, brother?
Yeah, what's going on with you, man?
We ready to do this?
Well, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
It's about time to say goodbye because, hey, man, in about an hour, it's kickoff for all the 1 o'clock games. But if you're going to bet the Bucs, you better hurry up and do it because now it's 4 points. And I'm not kidding you. I liked Baltimore when they were getting points. I absolutely love them now, even now that they're laying points.
Well,
I'm happy.
I think I went to Texas on that game, but I'm definitely going with Baltimore, especially versus a rookie quarterback. Jadeveon Clowney may be licking his chops a little bit there, being a Cleveland Brown. And having a rookie quarterback at the helm, I think that definitely favors the Baltimore Ravens. Prediction, yes. Prediction for the Bucs and Saints today. Give out your prediction in case nobody heard it at first. I
don't know what the final score is going to be in this game. I like the Bucs. I've been touting them all week for this. I mean, I need a little redemption. If they lose this game, now they're just a pedestrian team. They win this game, now they're talking about being one of the better teams in the NFC. This is a very pivotal game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. Yep. I do not believe that the New Orleans Saints are as good as what they're showing to be. And I'm telling you now, Derek Carr, if he's playing, they're going to get after him. I can tell you one thing: you will get one late hit on a quarterback. Trust me on that one. Todd Bowles is still a defensive-minded coach, but you know what? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Peter?
Yeah, I like the defense to show up today. Devin White to have a better effort, hopefully, and it looks like they're going to have back Carlton Davis. I like the Bucs to win 23-17. Definitely join me on the post-game edition of the Sports Web, where Bucs fans, you get a chance to vent or congratulate your team. Get on the phone lines, as always, right after the game. Of course, maybe Harry the Greek will join me. Paul Stewart from overseas there across the pond may join me. And, of course, all your phone calls, as always, because I care about what you think about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I care about your fantasy football team here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Absolutely. You can catch me on Monday and Wednesdays on the Sports Web live with Peter Blake. And sometimes you catch me on a Wednesday or a Thursday on the JP Peterson Show giving out our picks. So either way, we got you covered.
Yes.
Peter, I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and take us out. You can go ahead and end the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to the Over-Under on the Sports Web, and I love St. Pete. I'm Harry the Greek, and for Peter Blake, y'all have a really, really, really good day. Enjoy Sunday football.